Hey everybody, it's me, it's Todd, it's Point of View, it's my new show, got on YouTube, putting it up there for you guys to see what you guys think of it. It's basically my rants, raves, points of view on everything, and everything under the sun. My favorite things are women, of course, girls, and fucking sports, and wrestling, and stuff like that. So my points of view are going to be on everything, wide variety. I could talk about anything political, whatever. If you find what I like, or if you like what I say, let me know. If not, don't. It's cool either way. If you don't like what I say, then write a comment or freaking hit me up with a video. If you like what my points of views and want to hear what I gotta say, let me know as well. I'm gonna start off like this. My first point of view will be on the hulkster, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is a phony, a douchebag, and a sellout. He's a guy that's been wrestling since the 70s. He's taken sellout to the new level. He's the type of guy who would sell his mother if he could. The guy's made everything from hamburgers, energy drinks. The worst album of all time. Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boot Band. I mean, if there was a movie, another Saw 8, 9, or whatever, 10, if you were to make a movie, or if I had my way, I would make a movie and put in one of, Jigsaw's, death traps would just be a TV, and the person had to sit in front of it. If he didn't do it in time, the music, just the force and the energy of that shitty album would like bash his own head in, or his head would explode because it just sucked so bad. I mean, I'm sure some of you people on the internet know of Troll 2, which is by far the worst movie ever made. It's pretty hard to trump everyone's albums. I mean, the guy down the street that plays on your corner of the street for like 50 cents or little dimes or whatever, a little acoustic guitar, or even plays with pots and pans, can make a better album than Hulk Hogan. And this guy's just a ginormous asshole. Anyway, like I was gonna say, when he first hit the stage, he hit the stage hard in the 70s and 80s. He had very few moves, and he was the all-American hero, the guy that even the average Joe with balding head can relate to. He fought guys from other countries that we were at odds with, and that created storylines, and he wrestled big events, he wrestled all over the world, so he became an icon, and unfortunately in U.S. history, he's got a lot of people hired. He's made a lot of money for people, but he's also screwed a lot of people. He's also lost money and lost jobs for people. He's done shows, Thunder in Paradise. He's made shitty ass movies, Three Ninjas. I can name a bunch of them. It just repulses me to even think of them. You have to think about it though. In another way, this guy took in like American Gladiators. He had like god awful, horrible wrestling show with anybody douche and those washed up actors. Oh my god, it's pathetic. He's put his shitty stamp on everything. His whole thing is he doesn't care what the product is as long as he's getting paid. And he shows up for only the big events. Once his contract's up, once he's made his money, he's gone. He's gone. And his thing was, in the 80s, he was huge, he was big, he was bulky, and when the steroid issues came up, Vince McMahon was the guy who launched this guy's career. Launched it. He got him to the next level and beyond, and created the whole genre, the whole empire of Hulk Hogan. His whole empire was ruined by steroids. Any other wrestler would be ruined. But Hulk Hogan's iconic status that Vince helped him build saved his whole thing and got him through that dark period. And the funny thing is, Hulk Hogan is such a douche. He stabbed the one guy. Vince McMahon is not a likable guy by any stretch of the means, and has screwed his fair share of people. But the one guy you'd think he would stand up for, Vince McMahon, he stabbed him in the back to save his own candy ass. And see, once he did that, he became a mark. He became just a douchebag. And Vince is no hero either. I mean, he's probably contributed to more than half of those wrestlers' deaths due to steroids, because they're not, normal average Joes aren't dying at the age of 40 and 36 of heart attacks. But I'm sure he played his part in the whole thing. I know he has. But in this particular case, that's the one guy you don't stab in the back, especially who's done so much for you. He did. Testified against him, got him in trouble, and then all of a sudden, what do you know? They part ways. Then Hogan shrinks because he's not juicing up and getting it up the butt from other wrestlers and getting the roids. He goes over to WCW, starts a good brand, NWO. It takes off beyond his wildest imagination because he's actually a bad guy. People love it. See, who else could do that besides him and maybe The Rock and maybe Austin? Just iconic status. So anyway, he takes over. We all know what happens next. NWO winds up the very thing that takes WCW to the top, takes him to the bottom because he couldn't trust a guy under 40 to carry anything. Once he did that, those guys, some of the guys never recovered. The young guys never recovered, never got careers started. They tried going to other brands. Some of them went to WWE and never made the name that they made in WCW, and they were only half that good, but they had the talent, but WWE had enough wrestlers. And they got kind of fooled when the whole WCW, WWE thing happened, the whole joining forces together. They held a lot of the old guys together and let those young guys rot or go to other shows or go to independent circuits. Point being said, Hogan helped ruin WCW by far. And you would think guys would understand the business, Vince Russo, guys like that who blown their share of opportunities would understand this. Instead, WWE's lost popularity with The Rock and Austin and all those guys moving on into bigger, better things, and you keep shoveling out the same John Cena douchebag who keeps winning title after title. Doesn't deserve it for shit. There's like 20 other wrestlers who are way better. They don't have a standing system, because the standing system in WWE will be great, because then you know who's on top, who needs to win this particular match to move up, and it would just be more dramatic. Instead, Homeboy's gone for 4 months and comes back, gets automatic title shot, when other wrestlers have been busting their ass the last couple months. And Shawn Michaels retired, didn't even get the belt before he retired. He hasn't had the belt since his early DX days, and I think that's a shame. Before his pre-back injuries, he deserved the title, especially at the end of his career. At least once Vince could have gave him the title, but he screwed him out of opportunity after opportunity. Anyway, long story short with that. See, I go off on rants and raves. But check this out. Once that happened and WCW was gone and WWE was taken off and everything was hunky-dory, competition was gone. Competition's always good. WWE started fighting itself. The wrestlers weren't able to bargain the way. There was no attitude. Attitude era was going away because the best era of any wrestling fan was the attitude era. Once that era started to fade away because they didn't need to be edgy, they didn't need to go off the deep end to attract viewers, well, it kind of lost its luster, and you had shitty storylines. You started seeing the end of groups, and now it's a PG-rated show, which is dropping ratings. Back in its heyday, it was getting 8 and 9 shares. SmackDown was getting 6. SmackDown's down to a 1, 1.5, 1.7, something stupid like that. TNA Impact was at a 1.5 and should have went head-to-head with SmackDown. Instead, Hogan brought his retards and their nasty boys, Ric Flair, stupid idiots, mouth of the South. Those guys ruined things. They went over to TNA, and all of a sudden, magically, the ratings go down. Hogan gets a brilliant idea of going head-to-head with WWE Raw. Competition's great, but you have to establish yourself. And they fought 7 years, TNA did, to get their superstars like Samoa Joe, the Pope, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, all these guys to get to where they were. Jay Lethal, all these guys. Good wrestlers, young talent. But now they're pushed to the back burner. The only one they're keeping in the forefront is AJ Styles. Samoa Joe was like on PWI, on all the major wrestling magazines. All of a sudden, this guy can't even get a match because he's overshadowed by all these older guys like Scott Steiner and Booker T who came in. It's ridiculous. Look, bottom line is, Hogan has touched and ruined so many things. He can't even keep his family together. His wife's banging a guy younger than he is. He supposedly committed or thought about committing suicide just so he could sell a book. Come on, he's not going to kill himself for all the money he's making, even with a divorce. Giving away 6 homes, it doesn't matter. He's still in the dough. He's still going to make tons of money, and he's proving it right now. Anyway, again, TNA's in a world of hurt. And I'd be surprised if they got back, but they were really starting to challenge Raw, and Raw's ratings were dropping and have dropped the last 2 years from a solid 5 down to a 3.5. And the storylines are getting worse. The unique charisma, no groups. It's gone PG. You can't have groups because that's a gang. You had Nation of Domination, Corporation, DX, Heart Foundation. All those stuffs are gone because they won't allow it no more. You can't even hit anybody with a chair. No edginess. Look, If TNA would put out a good product, minus Hogan, minus Flair, minus his retards, that would be great. But Hogan has fucked things up again. And you know what? They've got only themselves to blame. Dixie Carter is an idiot. And you know what? TNA was pushing the envelope and had the right stuff to get it done. But they've gone back to just WCW 2010. So look, if you want to hit me up, let me know what you think about the video. I am out.